Hi YouTube fam, my name is Anna, just in case you don't know, and I make beautiful bags. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making a cute drawstring bag, and what you need to do to start with is to cut two pieces of 14 inches by 14 inches square. Just as you can see on your screen, you just need to cut out those squares and we can start with our bag. So your next step will be to notch out the middle of your bag, like the center. So this part that we're marking out is going to be the bottom of our bag. What we want to do now is from each edge, you're going to mark out the following measurements. You're going to start with a 2 inches mark, after which you mark out a 1.5 inches mark, and then you mark out a 1 inch mark. So we're going to do that on the left and the right sides of those squares. You do that to both the front and the back piece. So once we are done with our main piece, we want to cut out our lining, and you're going to use the same measurement, 14 by 14. You cut out two pieces of your lining material. Now, to give our bag its shape, we're going to make use of pleats. You have to watch very carefully and follow the folds as seen to make your beautiful pleats. Now, when we want to pleat, we are going to have 4 pleats in total, one on the left side, one on the right side. Then at the middle, we are going to have 2 pleats facing each other, giving us that kissing pleats. Just watch properly and follow as they are folded, and you get your perfect pleats. So for the first pleat, we actually folded at the 2 inches mark while leaving the 1 inch mark as the spacing between. To get the second pleat, which is going to be one of the middle kissing pleats, we're going to fold from the 1 inch mark, that place right there. You're going to fold from your 1 inch mark and connect it to the notch at the center of your bag. So I want to make sure that that 1 inch mark is hitting the notch at the center of the bag. So once I'm done with that side, I'm going to continue my pleats on the second side, and I'm taking it from the 1 inch mark as well. I'm going to fold and connect it with the pleat at the middle. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to connect the last, which is at the 2 inch mark on this side. I'm going to fold it out. You want to make sure that those pleats at the sides are facing your same side, okay? So you want to make sure that the one on the left is facing the left and the one on the right is facing towards the right side. So once you are done with your pleats, it should look something like this. There we go. So you want to do the same thing to your second piece as well, and then you have both sides pleated like this. And then want to move on now to do the same thing to your lining piece. You just want to make the pleats on the lining as you did to your main fabric or vinyl. So once you're done with your lining, it should look exactly like your main fabric as well. And then we want to continue on to connect our front and back pieces together. So we want to align them properly, making sure that the measurement is the same. If you have some excesses, you can just decide to trim that off. So from the top of my bag, remember that the pleated part is the bottom. From the top of my bag, I'm going to mark out a 6 inches space, and then I'm going to start my stitch from that 6-inch mark. So when I'm going close to the bottom of my bag, I don't want to follow that square shape, and also I want to make sure that both my kissing pleats are aligned. You don't want to have it shifted. You want to make sure that they are both aligned together before making your stitch. At the bottom of the bag, I just want to create a curve, okay? The curve doesn't have to be perfect. We just don't want to have a sharp corner at that bottom. So you can just create a curve. If you're not sure of making the curve with your hand, you can use like a slanted object, like a curved ruler, to make your curve at that bottom. So once I'm ready with my curve, I'm just going to continue with my stitch. I want to align everything properly and make sure that it doesn't shift out of place. We just want to go slow because there are a lot of layers and we don't want our machine to get tired. So once we are done with our curves, remember the 6-inch mark. Just as we did at the other side, we're going to mark out that 6 inches on this side as well. And then we'll stop our stitch at the 6 inches mark. Then we want to trim off the excess at those curved areas so they don't bunch up when we line our bag. And once you're done, this is what your bag should be looking like. You would want to turn it right side out so we can continue on with the finishing of our bag. So this is what it should look like once you're at this stage. Now for our next step, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did to our main material. We're going to replicate it to our lining. So you want to connect it, make your 6 inches mark, and also make the curve at the bottom as well. So our next step will be to sew our strap holders, and the measurement is, the length for this is 3 inches while the width is 1¼ So you want to cut that out. You need 2 pieces and fold it and make a stitch as seen. Okay, so once we are done with our stitch, we want to insert our D-ring into the strap holders and fold over. Then we're going to secure it with my trusty super glue just to hold it down before we make our stitch. You're going to do that to both strap holders. So we have our strap holders ready and we're going to stitch it onto our bag. Now, as seen, we have this part of our bag, that is where we're going to be stitching on the strap holders. We are going to be folding those that particular part of the bag in, so we want to make sure our strap holder is not too close to the edge. So I'm going to measure out half an inch from the bottom because we'll make a stitch there as well. So we measure half an inch from the bottom and 1 inch from the side. So that is where our strap holder is going to be placed. You just place your strap holder and secure it with a stitch or two. So I'm done stitching my strap holder onto that side. I'm going to go to the opposite side on the, let's say you stitch on the right, you go to the opposite side and stitch on the left, so we can have our strap. When you connect your strap, you can have it balanced out. You mark out the same measurement of half an inch from the bottom and 1 inch from the side, and you just secure your strap holder with a stitch. Okay, so our next step would be to connect our lining to the bag, and you're going to put the wrong side of the lining into the bag. So by the time we stitch, we have the right side facing out. So we want to connect the sides like this. The part we left out 6 inches when sewing, we're going to fold the edges in now. We fold the edges of both the lining and both the main fabric. You can secure this with a clip or whatever it is that you have, just to make it easier when sewing. So what we want to do is just to fold both edges in. We'll fold both edges in and connect it to each other. That way we have nicely tucked in edges. So then we run a stitch to secure it. So we want to make this stitch on both sides of the openings of our bag. We just trim off any excess threads As you can see, both sides have been nicely tucked in, and that's what your stitch to look on the back. So everything is nicely tucked in and neat. Our next step now will be to fold over our bag. This is what the inner part of your bag should be looking like. If it's not looking like this, then you've done something wrong, so which is kind of hard to do basically. Okay, moving on. So we want to fold over the top of our bag like this, using the measurements 3 and quarter. Yeah, sorry guys, I kind of forget these things. So we want to measure out 3 and quarter, and to make sure that that is the measurement we're using to fold over the top of our bag. And we're just going to run a stitch. Once we ensure that that top part is a 3 and quarter, we can secure it with a clip so it doesn't move around while we are stitching. So we just want to make sure that our fold is as straight as possible, and then you apply your oil for ease of stitching. Sometimes it might not want to move properly, so we just apply the oil for ease of stitching, and then you run your stitch to secure that particular part down. So we have this part stitched down now, and what we want to do is to replicate the exact same thing on the second side. So now we have everything folded and tucked in, and we want to make our final stitch. We're going to be using the measurement 1 and quarter. Yeah, we'll measure 1 and quarter from the 1 and 3/4. We'll take the measurement 1 and 3/4 from the top, and we're going to make our final stitch. So that part is where our string will be, and then it forms the shape of our bag. So you just measure out 1 and 3/4, and you run your stitch straight down. So once we've done that on the first side, we're going to do the exact same thing on the second part of our bag. So once we're done with our stitch, we trim off any excess threads, and this is what your bag should be looking like at the moment. So it's cute. It's not looking so cute, let's not lie, but moving on, we're going to cut out, you're going to cut out 16 inches for your string, and you're going to need two pieces for that. Okay, so once we have our strings cut out, we are going to insert it into the previous place that we stitched on our bag. Now guys, I'm working from my room at college, so I'm just improvising. I'm using a broken clip and a broken fork, but you can use a piece of metal, a bodkin, whatever it is, to just insert your string. So I'm just going to tie the string onto the clip and make sure that it's secured, and I'm going to start inserting it into my bag. So I'm starting from this side. I'm going to put in the clip and use my fork to push in the clip until it comes out on the other side. So just watch guys, you understand what I mean. Don't laugh guys, I'm improvising, so I don't have my tools here and I have to use what the things around me, right? So I'm just going to push out the clip on the other side so I can bring out the string. So once I have it out, I'm just going to untie it from the clip and secure it to the back so it doesn't go back in right when I'm doing the other side. Okay, so I have the second side of my string and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert it into the second side of the bag. Okay, so we have this side, we have successfully installed our string on this side. We're going to make a knot to secure it, right, so it doesn't go back into the bag. Now I'm going to insert the second string using the same method. The only thing I'm doing differently is that this time around the string is going to be coming in from the opposite side. Okay, you can see the first side where the string comes out, we already made a knot on that side. This string will be coming into the bag on the other side. You can see this side, this is where the first string came out from, so we are going to be inserting the string from this side. Okay, so I'm just pushing it in on the second side and the string is out. So we've successfully inserted our two strings. Now I'm just going to make a knot on this side as well to secure it. So we have our strings on both sides of the bag. So you just want to make your knot, and then we're going to bond the edges of the knot with a lighter so it doesn't start loosening up as you see. So we have our strings, guys. We had the power outage at this moment. I froze. I was so pissed. But anyways, we just have to watch the remaining in natural light, shall we? So I'm just going to bond the edges of my strings and make sure that it doesn't loosen up, right? And then we squish our bag and it has that cute shape. So I'm basically just doing some adjustments with my hand, pulling some of the parts that are in out and trying to make the shape as nice as possible. But basically when it has some stuff in it, you know, the beauty would come out more, right? So we have our pearl strap. I'll drop the link for how to make a pearl strap in the description box, and also I'll probably tag it in the comments so you can watch it and make your pearl strap. So you can just add your pearl strap to beautify it, and you can choose to use your bag without the pearl strap, and you can also add a longer chain strap if you want to use it as a crossbody bag. So I'm just going to be attaching my chain strap. So I've attached everything to the bag, and this is how it should look once you're done. This is how it should be looking once you have everything done and you've scrunched it up. So I stopped it with some things, and this is what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you later in other tutorials, and if you have any requests or questions, just leave it in the comments below. Bye guys, I love you.